Well, just like episode 3, episode 7 was just as tense, but it seems to be more failure, and Neku feels even worse than he did last time when he completed the game. Um, it's nice to see the show finally getting a nice, decent pace, where things don't feel like they're being rushed. The first episode, of course, everyone can all agree it felt rushed because the first three were pretty much tutorial missions in the game, and now they were able to get that out the way. Things were able to find its pacing, not as long as we would like it, but it was nice to deal with. I bet it was really hard to adapt this game into a good format. I bet it wasn't easy. Because, there are certain things you have to change. Like we can't do this mission in a game. People would think it'd be boring, or I guess us as fans wouldn't think it'd be boring, but as a newcomer, as an anime only watcher, you probably wouldn't really care for these kind of things like Creeper Reaper or making everyone wear a pin or fashion or even the ramen episode from week 2 and stuff like that, or 10 pin slammers, all the other crazy missions that you had to deal with in order to actually play the game right. But they were able to find a certain common middle ground to make things work, and I'm glad that they were able to do that. And of course, people are also seem to also enjoy the animation that's going on too, which I was surprised. I thought people would kind of hate the CGI mixed in, but they said the colors mixed in right, so therefore it's not bad. So I'll take that as a win. Now, these pretty much covers up days 6 and 7. Day 6, the Taboo Noise were going crazy, man. Everyone is getting attacked, from players to reapers. No one is safe. Even the other the other partners, were erased as well. And I remember how impactful this was also in the game, where you choose whether to decide you want to help them or not when you're playing the game. And of course, I choose to help them. Either way, it was too late. They were erased. And this is where Neku starts doing things where he wouldn't do in week 1, where he'll start to care about other people. You know, in these days, you will see a video where someone's getting chased down the street, bleeding or beat up, and they're crying for help, and people will just stand there, or sometimes pull out their phone and just record it. Some will probably try to call the police or the ambulance, while others will just stand there and watch or pretend they don't see anything. This happens so much now in today's age, where people don't feel like butting in. They're all too focused on their own world. And Neku was no different. Now he finally opens up to people. He sees this happening to someone. He feels guilty. He feels bad because this couple pretty much help him through his guilt with Shiki. They help him find his resolve. But now that they're gone, him and Joshua are the last players of this game, and so things aren't looking pretty good. You know, so it's been proven that Show is making the taboo noise, and they're getting crazy and haywire, and they need to find a way to deal with this dude. Heck, they even attack Kyriai and Yuzuki, and they even needed help for Crown Health. The noise were too strong. Of all the Reapers, Kyria name and Yuzuki were the more recurring Reapers in the entire game slash show, where the other Reapers only would show up here and there with secret intentions and stuff like that. They don't get much screen time. These two kind of got screen time and kind of help Neku and the other players to evolve with their character development. And it also shines some development on them as well, where sometimes they're enemies and other times they're giving out hints or even helping each other out in their own kind of way, without making it look like they're doing treason. So I always felt those two were the most interesting Reapers. Not my favorites, but the most interesting. Kyria definitely was one of my favorites still. I would have to admit that, for how much knowledge he had, and where it seemed like he knows more of what's going on even compared to the higher ups sometimes. So it makes you wonder how long he has been playing this game as a Reaper, and why isn't he, higher up for the kind of knowledge this dude has. Anyways, that being said, um, we finally reached down to day 7 where Joshua and Neku, where Neku really doesn't trust Joshua. He feels like, okay, this dude's just the worst. The way he just acts so calm, and even knowing what happened, just using him as a partner, as his own hostage, like, hey, you get rid of me, you get erased as well, so you might as well just stick through it until the end, But it seems like Joshua did say that he did get erased in the UG, he will get erased in the RG as well. But nonetheless, he said he has his own reasons doing what he wanted to do, and he'd rather do this than be in the RG. I guess the RG was just boring to him. He didn't care about it. I'm guessing the fact that Joshua was able to see the Reaper's game, like I said before, some people think when they found out that Joshua was alive, they think because you're alive and you're playing the Reaper's game, everyone is powerful like Joshua. If you do that, that's not the case. I believe Joshua is a psychic. He is a psychic in the real G, and because he's a psychic in the real G, he was able to see the Reaper's game. Think about it. We can't, everyone else can't see the Reaper's game because they're not a psychic, and there's very few amount of psychics if they do exist in the world. And because of that, Joshua was able to see the Reaper's game before he psychic, so he was able to enter the Reaper's game, and he was able to have more power than the average player. And that's how it works. Who knows, maybe normal people can have a lot of power if they enter the Reaper's game, but they can't because they don't see it. So therefore they know nothing about it unless they die, with regret or something. Who knows? But anyways, it's the final day. They finally were making their way up, but everything's going crazy, with the imaginary numbers. Man, it's been a while since I talked about imaginary numbers, and I'm not going into that, but it's just that they're very fascinating and stuff like that. Imaginary numbers, how they evolve on a parallel plane of existence. It always fascinates me. But anyways, about that, the other two Reapers, Kirai and Yuzuki, helps them out by turning on the lights, and of course Beat was there. Turns out Beat's mission was not to actually destroy Neku or attack Neku, but more like him pretending to attack Neku, but actually defending him from the dangerous noises. Very interesting Spec Ops mission for Beat. But at the same time, Neku gave him his necklace that belonged to Rhyme. Like I said, I'm surprised they didn't show a certain thing in this week that Beat did. The reason why Beat became a Reaper in the first place. I'm still holding on to that until we see what they're planning to do next episode. I have to wait and see before I spoil anything. Anyway, they fight Sho, which is extremely hard. Sho was always a very interesting Reaper, the reason why everyone loves him so much, and it's because of just the way he acts, the way he talks. His personality is very explosive. Plus, also, he threw his own wrench in the entire plot of the story, where he did everything his way, which is one of my favorite kind of characters inside a story, where you have this main plot, but you have this one character that comes out of nowhere and screws up everything of the game, like Hazama, Blaze Blue, or Sander Cohen from Bioshock. They don't care about the plot or the big scheme of things. They only care about their own plans, which I always enjoy and respect a lot. Anyways, apparently he was shocked at why they're there, and he decided to just turn into a noise. Now, his way was different compared to the other Reapers. I mean, all the Reapers. Where he originally fights you in his normal Reaper form, in his normal form, until he transforms. Even then, he is still extremely unique. The dude has 6 pairs of wings. Well, 3 pairs of wings. 6 wings, which equals 3 pairs, which is considered one of the highest ranking of angels. Only high ranking angels have 6 wings. That's how you are determine how powerful you are by the number of wings you have. And He had 6 freaking wings, and he destroyed them. Which meaning a show of case of someone falling sometimes. That when you become, like, it's how people will get demons and fallen angels differently. Because they both have black wings, the wings are actually different by detail instead of color. Fallen angels still have regular angel wings, but they look black, and demonic wings have a different kind of shape and detail to them. So Sho got rid of his wings, showing him falling and becoming a noise himself, which he is extremely fast and just kicking their butt until they create a move which I thought was them in the game summoning the moon to throw down to this world, but instead it's them grabbing up tons of heat, making it into a giant spirit ball, and throwing it down on Sho. And even then, that was enough to really beat him, for he was still calculating everything, seeing how the world is made of numbers, and all you need to do is follow the calculations and formulas to get everything you desire. So he decided to self-destruct, and when Joshua pushes him off the edge, and by the way, apparently Sho shot Neku. Why? We still don't know why. Something happened, but it's still crazy. But Joshua sacrificed himself. So once again, Neku has even more guilt inside of him. He's like, oh man, I am screwing up, with Shiki letting some of the players die, and now Joshua for, suspecting him, being nasty to him, and even getting a chance to apologize. So once again, he's within the Void Room, where he meets Mr. Kataniji, and Kataniji says, well, you passed the game. I am the one who set up the meeting for you to fight Sho. He never posted that, because you remember, Sho always posts a mission. It's always to do with a mathematical problem. It was a mathematical problem. It was very direct this time. But Joshua was doing things illegally, so he should have been erased. But since he did stop Sho, he gave him one last chance. One last chance to beat the Reaper's game in week 3. What's the constellation this time? We don't know. All we know is that Shiki is still the entry fee. It's all we know. So Neku is still even further away. But he has his last week, man. This is it, people. Last week. This is episode 7. What? We're only do 12 episodes, so we got like 5 episodes. That's more than enough time to actually wrap things up, I guess. Without a specific detail. But anyways, that's what I got for this video. Things are wrapping up, people. Heating up in the last week. I'm excited. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madame on Mad Crown on Madame. Signing out.